Dun 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 dun. Battlefield 4, let's go. Should you buy Battlefield 4 in 2022? So we all know what's happened with Battlefield 2042. I've made a review, so we don't need to talk about that. So it's resulted in a much larger interest in the older Battlefield games like Battlefield 5, 3, and 1. But the one game I haven't covered is Battlefield 4, and I'm surprised it took me this long. We'll be talking about the single player and multiplayer with no spoilers, but my main focus will be on multiplayer. Leave your thoughts down below, and if you manage to finish the video somehow, I don't know, I'm a bit annoying, smash that like button and stick around by subscribing. I really appreciate it. Thank you. 10,000 subs. Let's go! Let's start with the single player, and yes, Battlefield 4 actually has a single player in a full price game. That's amazing, right? Incredible stuff. Imagine that, a single player game for a fucking 60 quid game? No way. Well, it's like 5 quid now. Battlefield 4 has an okay single player. You and your squad are tasked with stopping all-out war through various missions spanning across the globe from China to Russia, etc. and follows a fairly decent structure, keeping you invested most of the time. The immersion's pretty good too. You have a great selection of weapons that you earn over the course of the campaign, so you can choose how you want to tackle these missions, at least terms of weapon choice. It's really more like a COD single player rather than a Battlefield single player. You run and gun most of the time and get the occasional mission set in a vehicle, but nothing comes close to those tank missions in Battlefield 3 and the jet mission, which is also in Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 has the better single player, I'll be honest. AI is pretty damn dumb and tend to run right into you, so the campaign is not particularly challenging, but because of how easy the AI is, most of the fun you'll have is during those epic set-piece moments like falling down a collapsing building or diving headfirst into a sinking battleship, desperately trying to survive, among many other big set pieces, but I'm not going to spoil the rest, so that's about it for the set pieces and gameplay really. The campaign really isn't that memorable, but Battlefield has never been about the single player. However, I still think it's great to have one, as I'm sure many of you probably love the story for what it is, despite the really lackluster ending, and plus, who doesn't want more content, EA? Let's just make a game without single player. That really worked out for Call of Duty Black Ops 4, didn't it? That's a really good idea. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? Everyone liked the Battlefield 1 campaign. A lot of people like Battlefield 5's campaign despite the historical inaccuracies that I've already mentioned in my Battlefield 5 review. So why did you delete it, EA? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do it, man? Why? Why would you do it? I don't understand. Is it cheaper? Was it meant to improve the multiplayer? Anyway, go watch the Battlefield 2042 review if you want to rant. That's pretty much it. I'm going to talk about Battlefield 4 now. I definitely think it could have been better, and DICE should have leaned more into what makes Battlefield Battlefield. Giant levels, letting you tackle them the way you want with the vehicles you want, etc. Which is exactly what they did in Battlefield 5 for the most part, and Battlefield 1. Well, some parts of it. Unfortunately, it seems they've ditched single player, which sucks, but I imagine they are regretting that decision after Battlefield 2042. Now, let's get to the fun part. Multiplayer. This is why most of you are asking this question of if you should buy Battlefield 4, and I'm happy to say the multiplayer is simply phenomenal, mate. It has its issues, but all in all, this is one of the best modern Battlefield experiences you will get today, if not the best to some. Weapon selection is astounding, with an insane amount of customization, not only for your weapons, but your classes, and each class needs to be leveled up, giving you a clear goal to achieve as you slaughter your enemies from the ground, sea, and air. And I can't praise it enough. Imagine that, progression, EA, who would have thought of that? Well, let's implement that in the new Battlefield games, yeah? Maps for the most part are pretty damn good, and the DLC maps are great too, so I do think you should buy the premium edition if you do want to buy Battlefield 4, but wait, there are still some flaws you may want to know about. The game is definitely alive, but you will struggle to find a full lobby at hours that aren't peak, so if you're looking for a game at 8 AM in the UK, you will struggle. Tick rate is pretty awful too, but for those who are not ultra competitive, you won't really notice it at all, and some servers are surrounded by angry petty admins that will kick you if you kill them sometimes. I don't have footage of this, but it does happen, and to those admins, as I said to the hackers of Warzone, you have small cocks. Gunplay is great as well. Each weapon feels different and impactful, creating a risk and reward feel depending on your situation and the weapons you choose to equip. I recommend always going for an LMG on those infantry only maps like Operation Locker and Operation Metro. It gets pretty damn hectic, and if you're not using an LMG and you're using a rocket launcher, I hate you, but I love you as well because you're still playing Battlefield 4 and free. I really appreciate it. Just use LMGs, please. Thank you. So yeah, you get a variety of weapons from snipers, pistols, assault rifles, SMGs, you know, the lot. You get everything here. Imagine that, Battlefield 2042. But the point is, overall, Battlefield 4 is a much better complete game than most of the games that I've released in the last 2 years. So if you're looking for an FPS multiplayer game that isn't Call of Duty right now, that is fun, impactful, good progression, interesting maps, designs, stuff like that, Battlefield 4 is here. If you've given up, go back to it. Go back to it. I swear it's still good. Or you can go back to Battlefield 5. Or pretty much all the other Battlefield games, except Battlefield 2042, are in really good states at the moment, especially because the player base is slowly rising again because of Battlefield 2042. So yeah, now is better than ever. Drop in, come join us, come join the Battlefield community, bro. Come on. Short video today as I'm now working on a Metro Last Light, Prey and Dying Light 2 review over the next week, plus I'm going to try and get some of your suggestions done, like Dragon's Dogma. I think I've never played it, never heard of it, but I'm going to check it out, so hopefully that'll be good. So I am going to be busy. You should absolutely buy Battlefield 4 in 2022 and ignore Battlefield 2042 for the rest of your days. Thank you for watching.